Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to TapRooT TV today. I'm Emily Pritt and I'm here with Mark Paradise. And we wanted to talk about something we've seen on LinkedIn that's been pretty interesting. There's this feature where you can have a survey, and we were reading some of the comments. The question was, what do you use for root cause analysis? And then in the comments, some people would say, oh, well, I use this or that and only use TapRooT for the big stuff. So we want to talk about why TapRooT is good to use for all types of incidents.
3 reasons.
3 reasons specifically. So,
all right.
yeah.
You want me to take off with this?
Number one,
Number
yes.
one. Number one, you ought to do a good, if it's worth investigating, it's worth doing a good job of. Mm-hmm. And especially for things that are precursor incidents. Precursor incidents are incidents that weren't particularly severe themselves, didn't cause any big losses or big injuries or fatalities, but with another safeguard failing, could have caused a fatality or a major accident or a major loss of some kind. So those deserve just as good of an accident investigation as ones, I think, that were actual accidents. So a lot of times people think of those as small and, well, I could just do 5 Ys or whatever. And the answer is no, you should be doing a good investigation so you get good and corrective actions so that you really prevent that from happening. So that's number one. That's the first one. Let's see, number two. Number two is you get more practice using TapRooT if you use it for everything. And one of the people who only use it for big accidents is they only have 1 or 2 big accidents a year or maybe none. So they don't get any practice using TapRooT. And then when they have a big accident, oh, I don't know what I'm doing because I haven't done it in so long. So if you use it for, once again, precursor accidents, you'll get lots of practice, and that'll make you even better when you do it for a major accident. Does that make sense?
Does to me. Now the third reason is the best of all.
What is that?
Well, it's because you're using this system, you're going to get these results that are going to stick with it, and it's something that, because it's a systematic process that we're using.
And you only have to learn one systematic process. If you say, well, I'm going to have one that I use for my big incidents, and one for intermediate incidents, and one for small incidents, well, you've got to learn 3 different techniques, and you've got to keep practiced in 3 different techniques. And you have to get everybody to stand, including your management, to understand 3 different techniques. Well, that's a lot of work, a lot of duplication of training, a lot of duplication of keeping people up to speed. But if you pick one incident investigation system that works for everything, which TapRooT, we've got it set up to do that. We've got it set up so you can use it for major accidents, and we've got it set up so you can use it for minor incidents. And it makes it easy to use for minor incidents, but yet robust enough to use for major accidents. Well, you've got it set then. And you only have to train people on one thing. Your management only has to understand one thing. And people get used to using it so it becomes the standard. And I think that's, it's good to have a standard that is robust enough to be big accidents or minor incidents. And on that lines, where do you stop investigating? What becomes too minor to investigate? Well, that's a decision you have to make. You have to decide that for your company. And I would say you ought to be doing all your precursor incidents, but maybe there's some point where a paper cut happens and you're not using TapRooT to investigate that.
Right. The other thing I like, and we definitely want to bring up too, is it's the quality of investigation that we're talking about. So the 3 reasons, they're all very important, but while we're going to do an incident and an investigation in the first place, let's make sure it's the best quality as possible. We don't want to waste time. I know this when I'm doing something, even as a kid, my mom would say, just go ahead and do it the right way. It's going to save you so much more time than having to go back, refix something because you were cutting corners or you just didn't do the same quality that you should have done in the first place.
Exactly.
And that's what you get out of TapRooT. You get that quality, and then you become more, as far as doing those investigations, like you said, the more you do them, the better you become at it. Practice does make perfect. It's kind of like a little catchphrase for a reason. So that's kind of our take on it. Now, LinkedIn has tons of other surveys and polls and things out there. So if there's anything that you want us to discuss, give us our take, then we'll be here.
So 3 things: Number one, do precursor accidents. Number two, oh gosh, what was number two? You want
It's with the training, keeping everything
number two,
systematic.
you get more practice.
Yep.
That's what I'd say. Number two, you get more practice. And number three, you standardize and you're using the same system, so you only have to do one set of training for everybody, not 2 or 3 sets of training, and boom, you got it.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. So, when should you be using TapRooT? For everything except for
All the
paper
time.
cuts. No
All the
paper
time.
cuts. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Should we say goodbye to him until
Yeah.
next week?
Till next week. We'll see you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.